may be separated by our language, even our culture, but the one thing we all have in common is our love, our devotion for coffee. And it's served everywhere too. Yep, it's just a big cup of happy, and it's a great way to rev up your morning. There's no question coffee is definitely more than just a drink. It became popular all around the world in the 17th century, and that's why it's something we can all share together. And now it's on to coffee slang. We all know that every culture has its own slang, its own idioms, and its own jargon. Well, coffee is a culture too, so it also has its own language. And the word coffee certainly has its own slang, like Java, brew, mud, jitter juice, and a whole lot more. So let's take a look at some popular Java jargon, some jitter juice jive, some latte lingo, so you're prepared the next time you want to order your next cup of coffee. Okay, let's start with the basics, which can already be kind of confusing. I'll explain. Black coffee, that's just pure, straight black coffee. It's not watered down with anything else. It's just a cup of caffeine, which is really a good thing if you have to wake up in the morning. So that's what caffeine is really great. And that's me not on coffee. The opposite of black coffee is decaffeinated coffee, but we don't say that. It takes too long. We just call it decaf. And if you have a cup of coffee that's half decaf and half regular coffee, it's called half calf. Now, here's where it gets really confusing. In many parts of the United States, a black coffee is the same thing as a regular, which is just black coffee. There's nothing else in it, just a regular black coffee. But in other parts of the United States, like New York and Boston, a regular coffee means with milk and with sugar. But don't worry, that confuses Americans too. Now, here's some of the most popular coffee drinks you may want to order the next time you go to a coffee house. I'll explain each one. We'll start with the espresso, which many Americans incorrectly call espresso, which always makes me think of an emotional, expressive cup of coffee. The espresso is just strong black coffee made by forcing steam through ground coffee beans. Then we have another confusing one, cafe au lait and cafe latte. Why is it confusing? Well, because cafe au lait is French for coffee with milk. And cafe latte is Italian for coffee with a milk. But they're different. What? Let me explain. A cafe au lait is made from equal parts of brewed coffee and steamed milk. But a cafe latte is made with 1/3 espresso, 2/3 steamed milk, and a little milk foam on top. Then we have a variation of the cafe latte, which is the chai latte. That's concentrated spiced tea with steamed milk. Okay, here's one that's always been a mystery to me. The cappuccino. It has the same ingredients as the cafe latte, but it's in different proportions. A cappuccino, typically just called a cap, is equal parts of espresso, steamed milk, and milk foam. Then the mochaccino. It's just like the cappuccino, except it's made with life-giving chocolate. Next we have the macchiato. The macchiato is about 1/3 of a cup of espresso and a thin layer of steamed milk. On to the Americano, which is Italian for American. An Americano is a coffee drink made with espresso and water. Some people say it got its name from American soldiers who went to Italy. They tried the espresso and it was just too strong for them, so they had to water it down and dilute it. So the Cafe Americano, or just Americano, was born. And finally, the flat white, which is like a latte, but the steamed milk is made into super fine microfoam, so the bubbles are really small. It almost looks like whipped cream. And if you think coffee is confusing, how about the sizes? Well, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee, which is a popular American expression that means this is some information you really need to know. Depending on the coffee house, there's the small shot, the big shot, the regular, medium, large, extra large, tall, grande, venti, trenta, quarenta, cinquenta. When will it stop? The best thing to do is just ask your coffee server or the barista to show you the different sizes. It'll be a lot easier. If you want to understand everything Americans say, you really need to know our slang. So please visit our website at www.slangman.com. And if you have any questions for me, please tweet me at @TheRealSlangman. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.